This is the intake plenum and intake horn kit from Fleece Performance. Everything all in one. 07.5 to 24 6.7 liter Cummins powered trucks. It comes with all the gaskets needed, cabin chassis, pickup trucks, and 13 to 18 cabin chassis. EGR valve, throttle valve, intake runner to the plenum. Everything you've got, all new hardware, battery cables from the heater to the relay and from the intake to the battery as a ground, just in case. Zip ties, Doty washers for the fuel return from the rail. This bolt and washer is for to block off the sensor, EGR temp sensor for the early trucks. If you have this sensor on the back of your intake, reuse it. This is a heater plug, pipe plug. Also, you can be used for boost or water injection, whatever. That can go on either side of the intake horn. We'll be putting it in the front side. Heater go in the back. You can get an optional dual heater kit that will put a heater in the rear and in the front for the super cold weather guys. Installation is going on a 2024. This truck has been used for R&D, so some things may be missing already. First things first, get the dipstick out, get it out of the way. Watch out for that guy. Take the crossover tube cover, beauty cover off. These are 8mm head bolts. Get this set away. Next thing we'll work on, we'll get the crossover tube, EGR valve undone and out of the way, and we'll work our way through the wiring and back. Crossover out of the way. That off there. This is an 11mm or 7/16. There's a gasket in here, and then there's a gasket right there. Put that over there for now. That can stay on there. And remove this cover, 10mm here, 13 here. Set this up here. There. It's already unplugged. On to another 10. Get the EGR out of the way. Hey, the gaskets even stayed. Okay, now we'll get the intercooler pipe off the intake horn. We've got map sensor here and back here. You'll steal your grandma's couch cushion so you can have something to lay on. Back here is the throttle valve. which I'm just gonna have to show you guys. I don't know if you can see that down here. There's that one lock there. Before we take the intake horn off, get your 13, take this studded bolt out. That will get reused into the other to hold that plate. Okay, we'll get the wiring undone. Here, the battery, the cable from the relay, which is down over here, to the factory plate will get removed. There. Along with this one is for that harness and for the front 3 cylinders. Just flip them out of the way so it's out of your way. Like I said, this truck's been used before for plenty of R&D stuff, so everything just kind of falls apart because it's well used. This nut is captured on this cable, so don't try to take it apart. Batteries are disconnected, not that it matters because this doesn't have power until it's being told to. All of the front connections are the same as these here. Flip them open. Slide it through. There's another one right there that is already taken apart. There's that. Set this over here. That's a 13. While we're going, let's go ahead and take this off. You can take the intake tube off if you want, but I've done this enough. You can just reach back in there and get it. Just like that. Don't lose that guy. Okay. Dipstick tube, get it undone. This is a 10. Yeah. 10. Let's go ahead and take this bracket off as well because you're going to reuse it. Okay. PCV drains. This is the oil drains from the valve cover. They are, most of the time they're loose. Be careful with these on the older trucks, you will break them. You can get replacements, but I like to take the drains off so you don't get a chance to snap them. Trust me, you'll get mad when you do it. Okay, there's bolt here, there, across here. This is loose already. We'll take all these, get the intake horn out of the way. Got all the bolts out of the intake runner with the horn. Normally you can just give this a good twist and this thing will pop right out. We'll get to the taking the throttle valve off in a minute. I like to take a towel and that way you don't drop anything. Okay. Wiring harness. I like to take this off of the main harness here just to get it out of your way. Get back to the dipstick bolt. And it'll slip down over here. Older trucks probably not going to be able to slide. Just be careful not to snap them off. There's a little clip down inside of here that you can get to gently. Pry up on it. Right there. You got to pry up on that just enough to get it unlatched. Battery's disconnected, obviously. Take that, stuff it over here on the brake booster. That one comes loose, that one's, they're all pretty wore out. drop it down. Again, these little clips, these are the locks, just slide back. Here. These are simply pushing the tab in like that. Break this down over here. Get out of your way. And back here. This is 10 millimeter on. Here, we'll get this out of the way. Get that out of the way. There. Yeah. Nice fresh trucks, that'll be just fine. Old trucks, be careful. Now we'll get into the injection lines. They're 19 or 3/4. One good thing about our kit is it reuses all the factory #1 injection lines. Don't have to worry about keeping a spare one of those in your toolbox. So we're gonna get the rail feed off. We're gonna start #1, work our way back, and then we'll get the rail and the plenum. Cap. Alright, we got the injection lines out. This here, 17 millimeter. That's the fuel return and the rail. You can't probably see that. There we go. That's neat. Get that out. Get it. Oh, get on both. Now see this there. Oh, there it is. Connector connection back here. Pull that out. Over there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the plate will be off. There we go. Get the plenum removed. Get your scraper of some sort. Get this all cleaned off. That's also a good time, since you've broke your injection lines loose, to retorque them tube nuts. You torque them 37 to 40 foot-pounds. Get everything blown off, cleaned off. Get your injection lines cleaned out, fuel rail cleaned out. There's normally a engine lift bracket right here. Like I said, this truck's been used for R&D a lot, so that has been removed previously. So I forgot to mention that. Get a vacuum cleaner, vacuum all that out, good to go. Way back here to check the tubes. Okay, let's move on to the intake plenum. Temp sensor extension harness, map sensor plug with an 1/8 MPT port built in. The screw, this plug is for the EGR temp sensor. This is not used on cabin chassis. We supply the plug to plug that. This obviously is used on this truck. And put this in. This will be installed here. Bolt supplied. We're actually going to go ahead and install. Need the O-ring. Please take note on these gaskets. This big thick rib cannot be on the inside because it will get in the way of this temp sensor. It has to be on the outside. Cabin chassis map sensor plug is installed. A 7mm head screw there. 3/16 for the pipe plug. 1 inch for the temp sensor. We're going to install these 4 bolts now. I like to take and put one intake bolt up here just to hold the gasket square. Those are our ones. So this is all supplied hardware, all new hardware. If your truck has, like most of the cabin chassis and some of the 1318 trucks, these 3 bolts, maybe that rear one as well, are actually a studded bolt, meaning there's a stud hanging out of the back to hold the dipstick, and the wiring harness that runs right across here. Reuse the factory hardware here, and so your wiring harness will clip back down onto it. You go ahead and get these tightened and torqued, and we'll move on to getting the fuel rail on. Let's move on to the rail. Plug that sensor in right there. Supplied. What did I do with my bolts? There we go. That's not my bolts. Those are my bolts. Those are not my bolts. Where'd my bolts go? Oh, they're up here. I forgot to put them on my tray. Three long bolts here. I've got one of the shorter bolts there. Before I tighten the rail down, I like to relatively put number 1 and number 6 on to kind of help align the rail. And don't forget your banjo and your two doties before you tighten this down all the way. Oh, you can kind of get a little wiggle room back there to install it. Let's see, where'd my flashlight go? Not gonna happen. Okay. And there you go, with the assist. Back here, plug in the latch is on the top. Make sure it goes on the ramp of the connector. Alright, let's see, pulling all these guys out. That's number 6. Ooh, dropped it. There we go. Turn the line around. I can. Okay. These, get number 6 on. Back here. Get this on here. And just give them a snug, because we'll take number 1 back off. Like that. Now, run this will be tighten. All these will get tightened for 18 to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, start in the back, work your way forward, getting the injection lines installed. These things are a pain in the butt. Start number 6, work your way to actually do 4, 5, flip those. Get these torqued down. Got all the injection lines on. Everything's bolted down. Everything's torqued. Got the rail feed. Let's go wiring harness extension. Plug that and get it locked. Set that under. Lock it. Turn your dipstick tube up. Already put that in, had to take it back apart because I forgot. That's okay. Get that on. Get it retorqued here in a minute. Now, let's see. Put that drain back in. These just get snugged. You'll snap them off. Harness. 4, 5, and 6. EGR mix, EBP, locked in. Save that one for later. That's an intake. Flip these over. Save them for later. All right. Let's get to putting our intake horn together. All right. Let's disassemble the factory intake horn. This is a T15. Well, now's a good time to clean that out if you haven't already. 8 millimeters. Set this over here, don't need it. Put these out. I'm going to replace the gaskets because I don't trust it. Let's wheel it off. We'll be back. Okay, with our new gasket. Put the bolts in. Get these it down and torqued. Forget intake heater gasket. We're going to put these in the back. Torque that down. Plug 8th pipe. Like I said earlier, if your truck has the temp sensor in here, reinstall it. If not, supply the bolt and the washer to seal it off. Reinstall the map sensor. Okay, let's get the intake horn installed here. Gasket down here. I like going with little glue stripes up so it sticks to the intake horn instead of sticking to the runner. Just in case you ever have to take this back apart, you don't have to scrape the intake runner off down inside the motor. All right. Started. Three. Already got that one slid down in there. Torque down. Fitting it real quick. This is a very tight fit on the 5th gens. You can just kind of see down through there. 5th gens are the only ones that are this close. If it is touching, you can loosen the rail bolts and loosen the intake horn and kind of shift them a little bit and then retighten them to gain a little bit more room there if it's touching. All right, let's get the intake connections done. So the EGR, throttle valves down here, and that's the EGR. So lightly tighten, they will break. Yeah. Bolt our dipstick tube and run our new cable to the heater. Installing our battery cables, they are labeled battery negative, the intake, relay, and to the heater. This has a nice cover on it to keep anything from over here, and also the nut for the heater. This will run with the factory routing. Get my pillow out of the way. Down underneath. We do supply zip ties. Some of the trucks use 3. This truck will only use 1 of the fir tree zip ties. Let me grab a flashlight. We'll go up through this hole. This wiring harness actually runs underneath this bracket. I do it. Oops, dropped it. And slide it, as long as you don't pull it too tight, and clip it right up into there. Same thing with one here. Back on. Trying to get you stuff. There we go. So you can see what's going on. Install the plate back on. gaskets. New supplied hardware. These down, snug them down, do not tighten them yet. You still want this to have a little bit of room to wiggle. So when the crossover tube goes in, it aligns. Tighten the V-band clamps on the crossover tube first, and then tighten those 4 bolts. Okay, fiberglass gasket goes on the EGR valve side. You do kind of have to walk it on and it'll stay there. The metal flat gasket will not stay there, so you will drop it if you don't get it held there just right. There you go. This one might actually align the first time. Put that on backwards. And run these down. Alright, hook back up. Jar temp. EGR valve. Forget the ring harness we threw down here. That good. Install the cover bolts again. And you're good to go. One last thing, hooking up your battery ground. A lot of batteries are disconnected, so you don't make a bunch of arcs and sparks. Welcome back. Okay, installing the dual heater. I've already removed the plug from the front, installed another heater. This is simply a jumper that we'll install from the rear to the front. And install the nuts and your boots back on. Now you've got the dual heat.